So today let's talk about tennis elbow and why are ice and rest not enough for tennis elbow recovery. Now, as an executive mom, you have your hands full, literally and figuratively. Whether you're typing away at your laptop, you're carrying your kids or your groceries or your laptop bag, or you're squeezing in a workout in your busy day, whenever time allows. Now, your arms and elbows take a lot of load, a lot of physical stresses without you probably even realizing it. So, but then when that nagging pain at the outside of your elbow shows up and refuses to go away, it can be quite a frustrating experience. Now, you may have taken a cold pack or maybe popped in some painkillers, maybe used an elbow brace or many other things, but the pain still lingers on. Now, in today's video, let's discuss why a cold pack or ice and rest alone will not heal a tennis elbow. Now, what exactly is tennis elbow? Let's get more into this topic. But before I do that, let me introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs to manage their spinal, that is back and neck and nerve pain. I also talk about tennis elbow because this is one of the pain or one of the struggles that I went through for quite a few years. And to be honest, if I'm not very careful with my posture about things that I carry, etc., I do tend to get a bit of a tennis elbow pain, but thankfully not that full-blown pain that I used to get before. So here I am talking about yeah, spinal and nerve pain mainly, but also about tennis elbow. And on top of all these issues that I had with my pain journey, I also had adrenal fatigue. And my two main symptoms were a lack of focus and low energy levels. And when you have these two, if you have these two, you would know how difficult it is to manage your aches and pains and discomforts along with your busy mom life or your working mom life. So I help you by giving you simple exercises, easy lifestyle modifications, some tips and tricks that have helped my own pain and adrenal fatigue journey. So I do all of this without taking away a big chunk of your time because, hey, we are moms, we are busy people. So let's get back into the topic for today, which is why rest and ice are not enough for tennis elbow recovery. Basically, if you're still struggling with tennis elbow, why ice and rest are not enough. Now, as I was saying, tennis elbow is basically a pain on the outer aspect of your elbow. So this bony part here on the outer side of your elbow here. So when you have it on the inner side, it's called a golfer's elbow, but we are talking specifically about tennis elbow or lateral epicondylitis, as the medical name is. And this is mostly an overuse injury and it happens when the tendons in your forearm, that is, the tendons, as in these muscles that attach, the muscles, they come together in um, a string-like fashion, and that's called the tendon, and that attaches to the outer part of your elbow here. When this attachment or the tendons around here get irritated or inflamed due to repetitive stresses, for example, if you're typing away at your computer, sorry, at your keyboard, or repetitively pressing the mouse, the button on your mouse, or even holding your phone for too long in a wrong posture. For example, if you are like me, you probably are holding your phone like this. So I have to make a mental note of keeping my wrist in neutral when I'm holding my phone. I tend to go like this. So all these overuse injuries or these repetitive strains that we put on our wrist and forearm can lead to tennis elbow. Now, usually tennis elbow will manifest as pain or a burning, tingly sensation along the forearm and the outer part of the elbow. You can have a weakness in your grip strength if you've had tennis elbow for a bit, and this pain can worsen on activities like, say, opening jars, pouring coffee, basically activities that stress the extensor, that is the tendons on this side of your hand, yeah, and the forearm and elbow area. Now let's get to why rest and ice aren't enough when it comes to tennis elbow. Actually, let me back up. Rest and cold packs are really good in the acute phase of tennis elbow, and many of you must have benefited from it. I did as well. But when your tennis elbow lingers on for a longer period of time, just rest and cold packs are not going to help. Of course, there's a place for them. They're definitely worth it and they should be tried. But if you have a long-term tennis elbow, you need to do more than just cold packs or ice and rest. Now, cold packs reduce the inflammation in short term, but they do not address issues like weakness in your muscles, poor movement patterns, or tightnesses in the surrounding muscles. Why this matters is without targeted rehab or a plan of action, your tendon or your extensor tendons here, they always stay vulnerable. And the pain often returns as soon as you resume normal activity after that period of rest. So, what you can do otherwise, instead of just rest and ice pack, is focus on gentle strengthening of the forearm and shoulder muscles, as in forearm and arm and shoulder muscles, even your neck for that matter, and address posture and daily movement habits that reduce the strain. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? So, what I've done is I have written a blog on this topic, which is also called Why Ice and Rest Are Not Enough for Tennis Elbow Recovery. In that blog, I have put in quite a few links, and one of them is about strengthening the forearm and shoulder muscles. It also has a video on 3 easy desk-based tips to prevent and manage your tennis elbow pain. So basically, what happens is, oh, okay, yeah. Before I go back into what I was talking about, I will leave a link to that blog in the description of this video. You can get it from there. Or if you're watching me on Instagram, the link is in my bio. And if you're a busy mom like me and you can't be bothered to look for it, leave a comment below. I will send it to you. You can even DM me if you want. Just mention which blog you're looking for. You can just say tennis elbow and I'll send it to you. Anyway, so going back, now what happens is your posture and your repetitive stresses sort of work together to create that tennis elbow pain. Now, many working moms or executive moms unknowingly contribute to tennis elbow by sitting in this rounded shoulder or typing with your wrist in a poor position for hours. Now, I'll tell you what I mean. So, when you are slouched like this, so for example, if say I have this forward head posture where my earlobe is not in line with my shoulder, but is actually poking forward. You see how my earlobe is falling? If you draw a line from here, it falls in front of my shoulder, not in the line of my shoulder. So if you have this forward head posture, in order to balance your head, you have to round your shoulders. Immediately, your thoracic or mid back also goes into a rounded posture. Now, when you have this, there are lots of things happening, but what happens is you have this firstly, you can have some nerve tension that can have additional problem. I mean, this can be an additional problem apart from your tennis elbows. It can create that tingling and numbness in your arm and forearm, and anywhere you have tennis elbow. On top of that, you have this superimposed problem. And the other thing is, when you have a poor posture, these patterns, they will add stresses to your elbow tendons every single day. Because, I mean, firstly, there's tennis elbow. On top of that, you have this poor posture, you have superimposed problems. So what is the fix? Oh, yeah, another thing is your wrist position when you're working. Now, I do not have my mouse here because I'm on a holiday and I'm not at home. So it's just a virtual background in the back. But okay, I'll hold my phone and just pretend that this is a mouse. Now, when you're holding your mouse, most of the people will have their wrist in this extended position. Try and keep your wrist in a neutral position, whether you're holding your phone or your mouse or any other object. Now, what does that mean? If you look at my wrist from side, if I draw this is my little finger. If I draw a line starting from my little finger and going into my forearm, this is a neutral position. This is not a neutral position. Another thing, you want to look at the hand from here. If your hand is deviated to either side, so either left or, I mean, towards the inside or the outside, that's not neutral. So you want to have the middle finger roughly in line with the mid of your forearm. So when you hold something and you keep your wrist in neutral, That is the ideal position. Usually, when you're holding your mouse, this is a natural position of your wrist. So, what you can do is roll up a wrist towel, sorry, a hand towel, and pop it under your wrist, or get one of those mouse pads that have a support for your wrist. What this does is it gives you a bit of a padding on the inner side of your wrist here and keeps your forearm and wrist in neutral position. I have one that I use, or you can use an ergonomic mouse. It's like a standing mouse, and all you're doing is you're holding the mouse like this. So, somewhat like this, and you're just clicking with your fingers, the right and the left click of the mouse. So you're not doing this. Yeah. So anyway, so that is to say about the ergonomic mouse. If you want to know the one that I recommend and use, I will leave a link again in that blog that I talked about earlier. Now, here comes your 3 easy desk-based tips for busy executive moms to prevent and manage tennis elbow pain. The video that I mentioned is already present in the blog. Now, if tennis elbow is interfering with your productivity, your workouts, your daily life, know that there is a smarter way forwards. Ice and rest, as I said, they offer temporary or initial relief in the acute phase, but what you need is a proactive recovery plan that fits your busy real life schedule. So it should not be that you have to look for a solution that takes a chunk of time out of your busy schedule. Really, who's going to do that? At least I'm not, right? So if you're ready for a proven plan to recover from your tennis elbow, you can join my tennis elbow relief course. It is specifically designed for busy moms or really busy people who want fast, sustainable results and without sacrificing your busy schedule, right? So I will leave a link to that course in the blog that I mentioned. If you missed it earlier, the link to the blog will be in the comments of this video. If you're on Instagram, the link is in my bio, or else message me and I'll send it across to you. All right, I hope that was useful. If you're looking for more things to do more information on tennis elbow, you can always go to my YouTube channel and you can find it there. If there are any terms or words that I've used that don't make sense to you or are too complicated, you have any questions, any comments, leave them down